All right, here we go. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to this will be show number 3 that we're doing. Evening nighttime show. Still haven't thought about a name for it, so just our nighttime shows here. I had a really good week. This is Friday. The week's over. One of my better weeks of the year. I hope everybody else had a good week, or at least made some good trades. At least ended the week good. It's amazing how much trading can really wear you out mentally and physically. It's just it'll make you feel like the best person in the world, and it'll make you feel like the worst person in the world, especially as you're learning and you're having days where you're making more money than you ever thought possible to make in a day. And then on the flip side, when you're losing, that same amount, and you're tilting and you're taking trades you shouldn't take and all that, it'll make you feel like you want to go jump off a cliff. You know, it'll really, you really run the gambit in this job, and I don't think there's any way to avoid it. But I've heard other people say it, and once you decide you want to be a day trader, I don't think there's any going back. For me, there's no going back. It's like I don't think I could ever go and do something else. I could do other things that day trading has allowed me to do. Like if I had other investments, if I had other stuff I could get into that I really liked. But the idea of going back to working a 9 to 5 style job is not something I don't think I'd have the mindset, if I had to, but that I'd ever want to do again. And it's one of the things I just love about trading. But I also love the weekend because I get to leave it alone. I get to remember the things that are important, and trading is just a vehicle to get you the life and to get you that freedom that you want and that everybody in the workforce kind of talks about. Trading can get that for you if you're smart with it, if you think strategically, not passionately, if you think long term, not short term. Trading can actually get that for you. And that's one of the things I love about it. That's one of the things I love about the weekend. Um, and that's one of the things that I like just at the end of the day, and that I'm trying to enjoy more, is just enjoy being away from the market a little bit. And it's nice to come here at the evenings, some evenings, and even on Fridays, to talk to guys about their week and how it went. So I'm gonna, if y'all have a drink, whether you have a glass of Pappy or a glass of Jack, or a bottle of Gatorade or water. If you're drinking milk before bed or something a little bit stronger, we raise our glasses. May your scalps be quick, your profits good, your tilting small. So cheers. Have a good one. Hope you all had a great one. Hope it was a good week. One thing that I want to start the show off with this week is a quick talk, or this weekend, this tonight's show, a quick little psychology about not trying to be somebody else. So about we've talked about in our last 2 shows. You could almost call it OODA loop, or bending, detachment, kind of detachment, part 1 and part 2. Well, here's something that gets in the way of an OODA loop, is trying to be somebody else. Trying to be, and you wouldn't want to be me, but trying to be me, trying to be Mark, trying to be Boof, trying to be Mitchell, trying to be Rose, trying to be that person in your trading. Here's why you can't be somebody else. You cannot get inside their head. You can't understand their OODA loop. You can't understand their thought process as quickly as they can. I know the way I think and the way I trade so quick that I'm not actually thinking about it. If you are here and you're like, okay, it's good to understand what other people are doing. It's good to want to learn from them. There's a lot of people I want to learn from, that I want to get better at, that I want to understand why and how they do things, so I can apply it to my style of trading. So I can take it, so I can adjust it, so I can adapt it to see if it works for something that I do. Because there's a lot of things out there that work. Like, there's a ton of strategies that work. I think I said this in Wednesday night's video, that we probably have around 20 strategies that are utilized in this room, some more than others, that are very effective and that work. And if you go to other YouTube channels or you go to other Discords or other paid services, you'll find probably some stuff that works for some people. And not all of it is garbage. I think a lot of it is, and a lot of it only works for certain people, but that's because partially, I think, of the mental aspect that they don't teach you. Not everybody is suited to every style of trading. Not everybody can do exactly what I do, exactly what Booth does, exactly what Mitchell does, Rose does, Brent does, other people in this room here does, Garrett does. Like, we all trade slightly differently because we all have a different way of seeing things. We all have a different perspective. We all have to be able to think and act within our own mind, our own thoughts, observe what we're seeing, make a decision based on what's in front of us. Part of your OODA loop cannot be, would somebody else take this trade, and think about it, oh, let me look at what this person's doing. I need to have that within myself. I need to have that confidence in myself as a trader. I need to have that confidence in my abilities to look at a stock and look at and look at these setups, because we teach you these setups. The setups are in the T3 room. You know, they're very easy, in my opinion, to understand base, like just base wise. Like, you buy a 1 minute breakout. Like, a stock is above the first 1 minute high, it pulls down, and then you buy the next 1 minute breakout. That's like stupid simple. That's why I like it. I was in the Marine Corps. I'm a Marine. Stupid simple is the best way to go. You know, you can't get too complicated or I won't know it. You know, it's not hard to understand that. And I'll use this NVIDIA chart here really quick to demonstrate it. Let me go to a daily chart here. And let's go to NVIDIA. Let's go to the first 1 minute candle in NVIDIA. All right, here we go. So here's a Mark 1, just for the sake of an easy trade. Here's your, you know, your one and done. This is just a continuation. You could call that maybe a chart reset one and done or something, or maybe you held it. But here, this red bar right here is your first one and done. The stock has been running up. It's strong. It's above the first 1 or 2 minute high, so it's up here. It breaks up a little bit further. It pulls down. Now, if you're using a front run strategy, so it looks like it kind of came up here, pulled down, broke out down here, so it closed down here. So here's the candle you can buy through. At any point when this candle starts going up, you could have a front run level picked. This is your Mark 1. At any point in here, you could have bought NVIDIA. If you bought down here, it would be easy to hold through this candle. If you bought up here, it wouldn't. Or, I'm sorry, right here, right at the break, it wouldn't. So more than likely, you want to front run it somewhere. You front run it. This is stupid simple. You get in, it pops up, maybe you sell here, maybe you hold this chop, and then you get this. But that's just an easy strategy to look at a chart and to understand. It depends on the day, it depends on the name, it depends on how they trade. For us who are using options, if you're like me who uses almost exclusively options, it depends on how options move. It depends on how those names work. So if options are what you do, how do those options trade? When this thing dropped here, maybe your options didn't go down, so you held it because you never lost value in your options. I probably would have sold, but depending on what kind of trader you are, maybe you didn't because you knew all-time highs were around the corner. All that being said, there are multiple strategies that you can learn and that you can know that's going to be able to make you money. Here's what's not going to make you money. Looking at somebody else in this room who is successful, or somebody somewhere else, and I will use Kelly from the VTF. Kelly's an extremely successful trader. He is a very good trader. He does really good work. But if all you do is just try to instantly follow him without understanding his strategy, understanding why and when he gets in, why and where his stops are, and if you're not able to do exactly what he does, which most people aren't, you're going to get wrecked. You're going to get hurt. You're going to lose more than you win. But if you take his strategy and you learn it and you understand how it works, or you do that with anybody else here, you take some of the strategies I've posted, you take some of the strategies other people have talked about, and you learn how to adapt it to your mental, I'll say your mental state, your mental ability, your mental strength, how you trade as a trader, what you feel comfortable with doing. When you're able to do that, that's going to give you confidence to take those trades without thinking. That's going to give you confidence in your OODA loop. That mixed with sizing properly, which we talked about previously, and I think we've talked about in other videos, is, and I'll say it again here, is taking the proper size to where you don't even think about a trade. Like when I'm trading, no matter my size, about 90% of the time, I am not thinking about my win or my loss, because even though I don't want to lose, that's not even a thought process in how I'm doing it. I'm not thinking risk reward. I'm not like, because I'm so small, quote unquote, in my size relative to my account and relative to my mental ability to handle that loss, that there's no risk reward. It's the trade instantly works. And I am almost instantly green, or it doesn't instantly work. That's how I personally trade. There are other people who have bigger stop losses and this bigger, these more complex strategies. I like things that are super simple. I like to be able to look at something, to jump in it and be like, okay, I'm already up on this trade, and have the ability to jump out in it within 2 or 3 seconds of getting up. I like the price improvement in my purchasing to be there. I like all this other stuff that I've talked about in other videos and in chat here and other things. If those things aren't there and you don't have the confidence in your abilities, you're just going to get hurt. You're going to be trying to follow other people, and you're going to be looking for other things, and it's going to interrupt your ability to think cleanly and to think clearly, to find out what you do really well and to make money, because you're going to be so focused on trying to make money like Booth, to trying to make money like Gator, trying to make money like CT, to try to make money like Kelly or Mark or Eddie or Geronimo. Now, there's nothing wrong with learning the different styles of trading to find out something that works for you, but to be spending so much time, and I don't think everybody here does that or everyone's watching it, but I think people are out there on YouTube and in Discord trying to find a quick home run. They're trying to find a grand slam that's going to make them $1 million, and that's going to smack, boom, I'm retiring tomorrow. I made $1 million. I never have to work again in my life. I can just trade forever. Whatever it is, YOLO. Yeah, YOLO. That's not how you're going to stay in this. There's a reason that 90-something% of people fail in trading, and it's mental. And if you've been doing this for a while, you know that it's mental. We talk about it during the day, and in our last video we talked about it. Like, if you're not having fun, then you're not going to be winning most of the time, at least consistently. If you can't just enjoy trading and have a good time doing it and just have fun, you're not going to have a consistent winning record for an extended period of time, because there's going to be something, and it's called stress. How do we perform under stress as humans, as individuals, as adults? What happens to us when we get stressed? We start making poor decisions. If you hate trading, and if this is a burdensome and a stressful thing to you, I can't figure this out, and I got to do this, I got to do this, and you're all over the place, or you have this weight on you of this stress, then what happens if I lose? What happens if I lose? If I lose in this trade, then I'm done. Then I'm down. If that's how you are in your mindset towards every trade you take, you're going to lose more than you win, because you're going to stress yourself into taking bad trades. You're going to miss the good trades, force yourself to take the next trade, and because you missed that first trade, here's where that OODA loop that I talked about last time gets messed up, because certain people are more bent to being a stressful personality, or they worry more than others. And it's not a bad thing, and it has a lot of it can be bad, it can be good, it has benefits to it. But if you have that personality to where you are really cautious and you are overly cautious, that overly cautiousness personality is going to hurt you. It's going to hurt you because you're going to be trying to take a trade, and you're just not sure. You're just not sure, well, this isn't set up right, this isn't set up right, and all these other things. And then you're going to miss it. And maybe you miss two of them. And you're like, okay, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. But at that point, when the next trade comes around, you're more than likely not going to be thinking clearly because you've missed multiple other winners. You're just thinking now about what? You're not like, oh, let me see. Yep, this is a good trade. I like this. Click. This is a bet. Now this is good. And you're not looking at whatever indicators you use and all that. And you're not thinking clearly like we talked about in the last video. Your OODA loop has been interrupted. Your ability to observe and then make a decision has been interrupted because now you're thinking about something else because you've got FOMO and you've missed the last two trades. So that's the danger of being an overly cautious trader. So one way, and there's many ways to do this. This is not by far the only one, but we all have different struggles. So this is one of the struggles I've seen in traders. It's not the only one, but we're just going to talk about mainly this one tonight, or that I've talked about it so far, is trying to be somebody else or perfectly mimic somebody else's trading. It's great to learn from other people. I learn from the people here. There's a reason I trade in this room. There's a reason I talk. There's a reason I ask people for advice. There's a reason when you hear us chatting in the morning, we're like, do you like this? Do you like this? I like this. What do you think? We trust each other's opinions. We understand our trading styles and what we're looking at, and it gives us more confidence in taking a trade and helps us find setups and stuff. But we within ourselves have the confidence to take the trades based on our own risk reward, based on our own knowledge of how we trade mentally and what works for us. So we're not sitting there scared, worrying, at least I hope we're not. If we're trading really smoothly and really smartly, we're not being overcautious. On the flip side of this, there's the completely radical person who has no, so there's a dichotomy. There's the completely radical person who's just guns to the wall blazing, smashing into every single thing. Yo, this person likes this, all in. And it just goes that way and just goes hard. That person is also going to blow up and not last very long. It goes both ways. You can't be the bend on everything, smash into every setup with everything you have. And you can't be the overly cautious, scared of losing, hesitant to take a trade because it might not work, because maybe your ego's tied up in that trade. Maybe you just don't like the feeling of losing. Maybe you've lost before, and so you're not sure if you can handle this one. And you have all these other factors, all these other stressors that are pushing down on you, and they're pushing you down. You have to find a way, and you have to develop yourself as a trader, and you have to spend time developing your mental ability to trade and your confidence in your trading, your confidence in the setups, your confidence in the stochastics. Like if I'm sitting here talking about stochastic setups, you should not be, oh, Gator likes this because the stochastic's okay, I'm in. Maybe sometimes, but generally speaking, you should be able to pull up that chart and be like, oh, I see what he sees. I do or do not like this because of these factors in my head. Because I like trades, there's about 3 or 4 stochastic indicators that I use when I'm looking for those. I sometimes like a trade that only has one of those indicators setting up. It's a lower % chance of working, but if I call it out, I'm like, yeah, stochastic setup for a quick pop here, you might think something more. You might, oh, this is one of his holds for 20 minutes, when it's not. It's a quick 10-cent scalp that I'm taking. So you need to understand it for yourself. You need to be able to get in there, to watch it, to observe it, to gain that confidence in what you're doing. And you do that by trading small and by trading consistently over time and developing that strength and developing those habits within yourself. Rome was not built in a day. Rome was built over a long period of time, to use an old saying. But Rome was also not torn down and not destroyed in a day. It didn't fall overnight. Empires are not built overnight, and empires are not destroyed overnight. It is a gradual process both ways. So as you're trading, as you're becoming a better trader, as you're developing yourself, don't focus on being somebody else. For sure, learn what they have to teach. Take the good and leave the bad. Take the good and leave the bad. Build yourself up mentally as a trader. Build your confidence in your ability, not my ability to give you a trade, not anybody else's ability, but your ability to identify these things. And maybe think strategically. Maybe it doesn't take you 6 months to do it. Maybe it takes you a year or 2 years to do it. But what's a year to the rest of your life? What's 6 months to the rest of your life? You don't have to learn tomorrow. Learn things, get confident, observe, find things that work for you, find things that you can do that give yourself that mental edge over the market. And then don't forget them. Journaling, journaling your trades, using some type of software, using something, even if it's just a pen and paper, that you can write down how you were feeling at the day, during the day, to kind of address these things. If you think you're good, then you're eventually going to start losing, because the market is going to change, because day to day things are going to change. My biggest name this year was Tesla. Like, as far as money I've made, was probably Tesla throughout the entire year. I haven't traded Tesla since last Tuesday. I actually haven't even had it on my charts, and we've talked about that in the past, just because of how it's traded. So I've had to get away from it, and that's not a bad thing, that's a good thing. And I've made a lot of money in other stocks now, but we have to adapt. If I would have been so tunnel focused on one name and doing one thing and one style, as the market evolves, I have to evolve with it by learning and adapting my trading style. If all you're doing as a trader is looking for somebody else to tell you how to adapt and what is working, you're going to blow up long before you're able to adapt. If you're adapting slowly along the way, as the market changes, let's say I'll use one of our examples of like a red take green on the 2-minute chart. So if you're looking at this, here's a 2-minute chart in NVIDIA. I didn't trade a lot today, so I'm not sure what times of the day were good, so let me scroll through this to find one really quick. I'd say it'd probably be early in the day. All right, here we go. So I'm just going to use this example, and let's see what time it's at. I can probably get my 1-minute chart there, but I'm just going to pretend that there's a 1-minute chart instead of, maybe I'll move it. Let's see, it's 220, so let's go to 220. What do you know? Because of how good this strategy is, I'm pretty sure we have a perfect chart here. So just jumping into this. So I'm using our green take red, 2-minute green take red strategy, and I think there's a 1-minute portal here. So you have a chart that's been trending up, that's been going up, it's been working. You can kind of see it here, going up higher, NVIDIA, making money. It pulls down. You're waiting to, before you buy it on any of these candles, you want a red 2-minute bar. That's the trick. So you have a red 2-minute bar that happens right here at the 220. Here are these candles here. So you have a pull down, a pull down. So there's already, at this candle, there's a red bar. You now get another red bar. As soon as this bar closes, because we have a red 2-minute bar, I am watching for a breakout. A 1-minute breakout happens, so this is a portal. This is what we call a portal. So you have a 1-minute breakout. This gets you green, and the 2-minute breakout gets you higher. So 1-minute breakout through the 1-minute portal, portals through the, and that portals through the 2-minute red bar, and that gets you this whole move. Boom. That's a strategy you can learn. That's a strategy that's effective. And I've lost, I was thinking about what I was saying earlier. If somebody wants to remind me exactly what I was saying before then. But there's so many strategies that you can learn, that you can adapt. But you need to have the confidence to see them and to take this And if I would have taken this strategy and it would have popped here, yeah, be your own trader. So you need to be able to look at the market, adapt, and maybe, so this trade actually worked, but here's a way to do it. Thanks, Garrett. So Garrett reminded me, and that reminded me what I was going to say. So this trade popped here. It looks like it went pretty quick. But let's say it went up. You identified that this trade was going to happen on your own because this was a name that you were watching, and you took this trade. Let's say that this trade went up and then slowed down, and it didn't go higher. If this had been doing this all day and not working, and you had done another portal trade where you basically go through a 1 minute and you wait for that 2 minute to trigger, and that 2 minute didn't trigger, and then it crashed back down, you should be able to identify that at this point. Be like, you know what? The last 2 or 3 times I've taken this or tried this, it really hasn't shot through. So I'm going to sell, let's say I take, 20 contracts. You could take 2 contracts, whatever. And it pops through. I'm going to sell half because I'm up money. Now I'm down the risk slide. Now I don't have something here that's stopping me like from losing money. I'm not going to lose money more than likely on this trade. Now I can hold the rest of it for this run up. That's an adjustment you can make midday, and you can adapt as the market is changing with you. That's a way that you can grow as a trader and even grow during the middle of the day, because every day things trade differently. Yesterday, I was able to just literally buy NVIDIA and hold it. And I did that several times. And just bought it. I was like, okay, it's going up. I'm just going to sit here and hold it. And made pretty good money doing that. Today, I did not. I did it once at the beginning of the day. And then, I didn't trade much today. I had to take care of the kids. But I watched it a couple of times, and that would not have worked today. So I would have had to adapt very quickly so I didn't lose. So you have to learn how to adapt on the fly. And if you're looking or waiting for me, Boof, anybody else talking here, somebody in the chat, to tell you exactly what to do, guess what's not going to happen? You're not going to be able to adapt quick enough to stop yourself from blowing up. You're not going to be able to adapt quick enough to see the changes in the market. Your OODA loop needs to be on constant going without the distraction of looking to somebody else, another trader, whoever it is you respect, and being like, okay, what are they doing? Are they doing this? Are they doing that? You have to learn it yourself. You have to understand it yourself. And that's going to be one of the bigger things and one of the biggest things, and one of the things that you can do slowly. Because, like I said, Rome wasn't built in a day, so there's no reason that you should think you have to figure this out overnight. If it takes you a year to figure it out, after you figure that out and you develop that confidence in yourself, you're going to be able to take the best that other traders have to offer from these YouTube guys and the people in this room and other rooms, and you're going to be able to throw stuff out that they say, like, that doesn't work for me. Like, there are people that make money in ways I can't make money, and I'm completely okay with that. I don't even want to make money the way they make money because I know how I do it. I know how my mind works. I know how I figure things out. So I use that. One of my boys are crying really quick. Let me see if he stops. I'll be right back. Give me like 2 minutes. No, he stopped. Never mind. He's got gas tonight. He stopped before I could run up there. So you being able to figure that out is what's going to make a difference and is going to give you the confidence to grow, to take stuff and to be like, this doesn't work for me. This isn't my style. This is my style. But this 10% of what this person does makes sense. I'm going to hold on to that because I know I can use it. And that's going to help you break through as a trader. And that's going to make the biggest difference. And on the flip side of that, when you start having bad days and bad weeks and you start losing, it'll also help you adjust quicker. And we can always reach out to somebody for help. And we can always reach out to somebody to help us get through it, especially if we have this community around us like we have here. It can make it will help. It will make a big difference. But learn to rely on yourself as a trader. Develop that because I'm not always going to be around. Other people are not always going to be around. Like we all know, if you came from T3, something can just happen sometimes, out of your control. You don't know what it is. If we have learned anything over the last couple of months, it's as a trader, you need to be able to develop your trading skills to a point to where, you're not going to do it as well, but you could be off, technically speaking, on your own, and you could just do this, and you could scalp, and you could trade, and you could do it without anybody. You're going to do it better with people, and you like to have that community, so you grow that community around you, and you put people around you that are good traders, that you respect, that you like, that help you psychologically to trade really well. Like Mark used to say, you trade, trading is, and people say it all the time, trading is what? How much is it? It's like 90%, 90% mental, but we don't focus on the mental. There's plenty of strategies here to learn. Plenty of strategies here that you can learn to make money. But the question is, what works for you? What works within your OODA loop, within your thought process, that you can quickly identify, that you can look around and be like, this works, this doesn't work. This is a setup that's working. I trust this setup. I trust this system. And then I'm making it work for me to make me money, to give me that, as it were, that freedom in my life that I've been looking for, that independence. So that's kind of my thoughts for tonight on where I wanted to go with it. My little spiel, as it were, for the mental side of the show is not trying to be somebody else, learning yourself, developing your skills, using what you can learn from others, and gaining that confidence, because it is all confidence. And size is the physical side of that. What I'm saying and what I've been saying the last 3 videos or so is a lot about the mental side of it, and the physical side is taking the appropriate size to where you can handle wins and losses, and you don't even think about your entries. My ideal setups, so I'll answer questions. If you all have questions, send it in. I don't see anybody else who has Mike Access on here. It's Friday night, I don't blame them, but I don't mind chilling, having a drink with you guys. My ideal setups are 2 things right now. It's finding the strong names and then buying Mark 1s through, or I'm sorry, not Mark 1s, one and done breakouts. So it's like names that have seemed to be popping for me. And if I go to NVIDIA here, let's see if I can pan to the first. I mean, you can see it here. It's like it starts breaking out, it breaks out, it breaks out, it breaks out, and then it stops, and then you get this little choppy action. Before it breaks out, it hits a moving average, and it breaks out and breaks down. So it's like those breakouts. Here's another one. Breakout, boom, boom. It's kind of like there seems to be, here you go. Once you kind of get that break of a range or something, I've been getting these. So once I see that break range, I've been buying and then either holding or just scalping 1 minute breakouts until it doesn't work. So if I was specifically watching a name that I thought was strong and it looked like it was breaking out, I would just buy the top of each 1 minute candle. It pulled down some. I'd probably front run it somewhere down here as it started, and I'd be okay with losing small size again, remember, or I'd be holding a size from down here, and then I'd buy this one, and then towards the end of the candle I would sell, or if it pulled down I would sell. This one then pulled down a little bit. I'd probably buy as it started ticking back up. This would happen, it would go over, I'd probably buy here, and if it failed I would just sell quickly. I'd see the loss, and then from there it'd be like a second choice. I've seen that be super effective for me, Brent, with my style. I posted a video on it, I think, about it. That's worked, and the 2 minute green takes reds have been very effective for me. I mean, you can see it here. Like if I just scroll through NVIDIA today when I was in this uptrend, remember the only thing I care about is a trend. So here's a 2 minute bar in NVIDIA. I don't even know when this is, 11 o'clock today. 2 minute red bar, breakout. Down, 2 minute red, 2 minute red. There's no breakout here. Breakout doesn't really go. You probably could have made a little bit there. Not as much, but at least technically you're not losing. Breakdown, breakdown. 2 minute red bar, you get a breakout. What do you get after this breakout? Run up, run up, run up, run up, run up, run up. So there's your trend. Here we go again. 2-minute red, 2-minute red. Breakout. Look at that. Boom. You can definitely make money there. Over here, this would have broken out and it would have looked green. You would have been like, oh, this is going to go. It didn't. I think this was when the video was done. I think this was, it went up to all time, like tried to break all time highs and failed. So that's when it failed. But even going down, steer here, you got another 2-minute red bar by the 1 minute. You can definitely make money there. Over here you go again, 2-minute red bar breakout. Another 2-minute. This is kind of this would be a hard one, but you could definitely play it here, over here, and get the same thing. So the 2-minute red, super successful. Yeah, the stochastics and stochastics is another thing. So the kind of one and done through breakouts with momentum, Mark 1s, but the and then the 2-minute green takes reds with a stochastic setup, like this stochastic setup, are often something I have found super effective. And I mean, I just have an NVIDIA here. You could call out any name, like go look at this name, and I've found if it's trending and if it's strong, these strategies kind of have been working lately. Let's see, Khan, looking through. So Khan asked, can you go over how you exit a front run loss and then re-enter, and how to psychologically deal with that? Your consistently has skyrocketed since joining the newsbeat room. So, trying to think how to answer this. Again, it's the size thing. So first, the size is small. Is the PI there? If the PI is there, I'm not even afraid, because sometimes when I front run, the stock pops up, and if it fails, I break even or maybe even win. If I lose on a front run, especially lose bad, I don't allow myself to trade that candle again. So it doesn't matter if it goes, unless it actually breaks out. I'm not front running again because I've already lost on that candle. So I limit the psychological and the consistency damage by stopping my front running when I lose. So if I front run, it drops and I win because of price improvement, which happens often. I am not toxic because I won. I'm actually more excited to trade it if it starts ticking back up again, because I'm like, heck yeah. If it pulls down on me, then and I lose, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm done. I need to wait for the next setup. And then I wait for it to either hit a moving average, set up on the next candle, something like that. So that's my psychology with that. And if I'm losing on front runs, I just stop front running, or I move my front run closer to the trigger. And if that's not working, I just quit trading a name. Because if it keeps going up to the trigger and failing, then I'm done with that name. Like, I just take it off my list. Like, you're not triggering. Like, I'm not going to sit here and scalp my day away trying to catch a breakout. That's not how I trade. Go back. I'm not sure why it's blurry. It might be blurry because of I have a 38-inch screen, and I'm sharing that entire screen. Hope it's not too blurry. If it is, you can go to YouTube. This will be uploaded to YouTube after, and you can skip to that part of the video. It's around the 32-minute mark or 33-minute mark, and you can review what I'm pointing at there, Wilson. I generally, Brent, do within the last 10 seconds. That's usually when I see volume coming in, depending on the name. In the last 10 seconds or the first 10 seconds of a candle is roughly when I'm looking at where something is. And whether or not it's going to go or not, I usually buy within 10 seconds of the close. Sometimes sooner, but usually sooner. If I'm buying sooner, I'm looking for more of like that just bust out kind of following through one and done strategy than I am a true like setup. Like, this is going to go. I think it's going to go. I kind of boof it, buy it at the bottom of a candle type thing. But if I'm looking for like a good front run level, usually it's within the first or last 10 seconds, depending on the name. And if you have questions, feel free to keep sending them. Yeah, I front run the whole dollar amount. It depends on the name, Garrett. Depends on where it's at, you know. Um, I think it was my Tesla video. I'm not even looking like on big names and stuff. I definitely do the whole dollar amount. On smaller names, I don't, just because of how they moved. Like if you're front running Facebook or something, it'll be a lot harder. If it's Tesla, it's easier. So it's like if it's trading at 1,000, whatever it's at. Let's just say it's at like $1,200, and then it pulls down below 1,200. I would definitely buy it before it broke 1,200 again, and I would pretty much use that kind of strategy as a front run level with a lot of things. Just as an easy mental note, like hey, if it gets above 12, I'm buying, something like that. But it's more of a mental note than like this area or this whole number definitely works. It's just more of an easy like buying it before it breaks $70, buying it before it or breaks $80. There's not necessarily a reason other than it's just like an easy observation that this works. I don't use that strategy for Amazon. I just buy, and it's more of like a trend that the queues are going up, and it's an observation on the queues, or a general observation that Amazon is strong, and it just ticks down. It's sitting still, and you just buy, and it's half a gamble when you're doing Amazon. I wouldn't call it gambling, but it's pretty much you're just like you're getting really good PI, and if you're getting amazing PI, which is the only time I trade Amazon, then you just do it, and it works. There's not like a hardcore like rule with Amazon other than it's trending and the queues are trending. You buy every time it sits still. You get good PI. You wait 5 to 10 seconds, 30 seconds. It pops a little bit and you sell, or you sell half and hold the rest, or 75% and hold the rest. It's an entirely different animal. 100% agree. It's an entirely different animal, and you got to do that on your own. Like, figure out how that works. That's a video in and of itself. What do you mean, Brent? Do I think it will help others? Do I think what I'm showing will help others? Or, like, what do you mean? And if you're watching on YouTube after the fact, uh, I'll post the Discord, but we have a Discord. There's chats, people asking questions in there, and I'm just answering those through the Discord. Oh, you're saying you think it's helpful. Okay. I think it can definitely be helpful finding these different things. I didn't record today because I literally traded for like 15, no, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I got off. I randomly hopped in throughout the day, but I was taking care of the kids, so I didn't record. Otherwise, I would just show what I did. But there isn't anything to learn in what I did other than I just mentally knew Amazon was strong, and I was, or not Amazon, the video was strong, and I was going to buy the first 2 minute breakout. That was all I did. So there isn't really anything to take away from my trades today. So, Sufyan, for what's been giving me conviction, I mean, a lot of names near all-time highs. So if something's like really strong, like NVIDIA was just super strong, other names have just been strong. So if I'm in, so here's how I do it, or what, it's not that I necessarily have conviction, it's that I'm down the risk slide. So there's no risk in my trade if I'm up, let's say hypothetically a point, and I sell half, or I'm up 50 cents and I sell half or 75%, and then I'm holding a 50% runner. And then I get up another 50 cents and I'm still holding that runner. Like there's no risk there. So it's not necessarily that I have a ton of conviction, but there's stuff like there's a trigger that's nearby. Like I've been holding through these high a day triggers. I've been holding through these different things, and they're just all there. And because they're there, it gives me like I see the risk reward of if I hold this, there are these triggers that could get me more. Let me sell 25%, 50%, and just hold the rest. And who cares if I break even in this other 50%? Like, I've already made my money for the trade. Everything else is just extra. And so I've just changed the mindset to where up money, let's see if a runner goes. And I only would do that once or twice a day if I lose in it early. So if I do it and then I win and it's working, I keep doing it until it doesn't work. And the first time it doesn't work in a name, I'm like, okay, I got to stop doing this. I'm just going to scalp it. I'm not going to let it do a runner anymore. So it's kind of like understanding a name. Is that name strong? Is it strong on the daily? Is the market strong? Are there triggers nearby that's going to shoot me to a higher location? Am I completely out of risk in this name because I'm in it and I've already sold half my position and now I'm just watching the stock go up? So it's kind of like that is more the conviction is where it comes from, is I'm down the risk slide, sorry, like you're saying, and there's just no risk of me losing my whole trade. So it's kind of easy when you're just up money. And I'll try to show more, Brent, like I did. Like, I'll try to show more, and I'll actually try to do some videos next week of me recording my live screen, my screen live, and I'll go back over it during the evening videos, and we can watch some stuff so I can show you what it looks like, or show people what it looks like. Wilson, I use OBS to record. If you just Google OBS, but you can also use, like, your NVIDIA has a built-in recorder if you only have one screen. I have multiple monitors, and the screens I record are not on the same monitor, so I use OBS to record my different displays. It's free, and it works pretty good. Yeah, I see everybody answered that. Sorry, I'm just scrolling down so I don't miss comments. No, I got into options trading. I actually didn't really know much about options trading, Jess, until I got in here. Mark, I learned from Mark. So I completely started options trading then. Before that, I did stock, and I thought it was impossible to make money because I thought that you had to make money, you had to have money to make money. And I'd be in these rooms, and they would give like 10 call outs. And they were like, wait for this particular candle setup. Okay, this particular candle setup. Now you have to do this, and this has to be your stop loss, and you have to do this. And if you're spreading that, and they give like, let's say 8 names, and then 2 of those names work, and then everybody in the room who took those 2 names goes and praises them on Twitter, and the people who did the other 6 names lose. And it was kind of like that, all the rooms I was in. It's not the strategies didn't work. It was like, man, you got to have $100,000 and put $10,000 down on every name to make any money here and have quick sells. Like, if I only have, $1,000 or $2,000, even 10,000, there's no way for, like, how am I going to make money doing this? And I could never just figure it out. And then came in this room, and then Mark talking about just using options as a vehicle for the stock, and I was like, bam, man, this is it. And so that's kind of how I got into it. It was definitely as soon as I joined this room. And let's see, you asked if you're struggling dropping back to scalping, or yeah, there's nothing against dropping back to scalping. I'm not anti stock. You do. I can't tell you what to do, and all this is just for educational purposes. There's no, this is just me talking to myself. So I can't tell you what to do. But if what you need is confidence, Jess, and you're not worried about making money right now or losing money right now, this isn't your livelihood, and you just want to get consistency and confidence in the setups, then sure, scalp. Definitely use the cash. Not, there's nothing wrong with using shares. I think there's a lot of people in the room that actually don't use options. I just find them more profitable for me, and and this was the video, basically the initial video earlier, is you finding what works for you. If options aren't working for you, don't use them. Use common because of you. And if shares are working for you, don't switch to options. Find what works for you as a trader, what you're consistent with. If you think you're losing because of options, then give shares a try. And then if you're consistent with shares, say, okay, no more options. There's no reason to, there's no one answer, and there's no one size fits all to trading. So I would say find what makes you feel comfortable. And if shares make you feel comfortable and that's going to help you, then 100% trade common. It's easier if you have over a $25,000 account, though. If you have under $25,000, this is another reason I liked options. You don't have to wait for settled cash. So that's something else you need to consider, is the settled cash and where your account's at. Otherwise, you have to wait 3 days to trade. So that's another thing I liked about options. I was like, man, I can only trade 2 days a week or 3 days a week with these people's strategies, and I'm out of settled cash. This is a pain, and half the time it's not working. Well, with options, you don't have that concern. You can trade every day. So that was that's my options versus stock spiel. I probably only do 1 or 2 trades a day in stock. It's very rare. About like 99.99% of my trades are options. And that's just me, though. That's not bad advice, Supian. That's good. Again, the only thing would be your settled cash. I don't know how to make money trading Tesla or these other names with stock, just because of, you're not going to get a big enough move to pay yourself before your settled cash and all that other stuff comes into play. Like, how are you going to catch a $10 move? No, I would never well, are you talking about penny stocks? Well, one, I'm not recommending anything. You do you. Do the names and the strategies work? Yeah. That's not... The only thing I do, Jess, is the C strategies. And if you limit your trades to C strategies and you limit your size and you're not focusing on the money, like those green takes reds that I showed you there in NVIDIA as it was ticking higher, like, I don't know you, I don't know like all that stuff, but there's no reason, as NVIDIA is trending higher and you just saw this breakout here, like this Mark 1 went through and it worked. There's no reason the next time one happens that you can't take that and make a little bit. Hypothetically speaking, if you're waiting around, you're not trading aggressive early, and it's not that you're scared, you're just waiting for a good setup. And then look, you get another Mark 1 here, and then it breaks down. It hits the 8, it never pops up, it hits the 8. Now you got a 1 minute breakout, and you could have held this whole thing, or at least some of it. And you could have caught this one. I feel like if I was talking to myself and I was struggling, I would say try to find what's working for you and what hasn't worked for you, as opposed to trying to change everything about your style unless you're a consistent small cap trader. If you're a consistent small cap trader, go trade small caps. If you're just trying to find and you're just like swinging in the dark and you don't have a strategy and all that other stuff, then I would say no. You have strategies. Find which ones work for you. Journal your trades. Find out why and when you're losing money. Stay small. Get consistent to get confidence in yourself, would kind of be my advice to myself. But if like Geronimo calls out some news flow in some small cap, and it's like ripping, I mean, I take those in common like all the time. If Tilray is ripping, I generally trade common. Sava, the last couple of days when I've traded it, I've traded common. So I do trade common. It's just not like, it's hard to trade common in Amazon, you know. So I don't know if that kind of answers your question or kind of gives you something to think about there. Nice thing about Fidelity is I always have to trade next week's options on Friday. Yeah, and I know you had a bad day this week, but a bad day doesn't define you. It really doesn't. No single day should define you as a trader, positively or negatively. It's the consistency over time that defines you. And it's all about finding your niche. I'm all here to help you. Other people are here to help you and help everybody else here who has struggled. But in the end, it's really about finding your own way through other people helping you so you have that confidence. Okay, that was last week. Yeah, I forgot what day. All my days run together. Okay, so this week was all green, so you're doing great then. Like if you traded this week and it was all green, even after last week, I don't know if you made back all that, but you're doing great. Don't even, just keep being all green. And before you know it, you're going to look up and your account will be far past where it was. Then just don't look at your account while you're getting it there. Just trade smart. Keep doing what you're doing. I've blown up many times. I've had plenty of times where I don't know if it blow up, but I've had plenty of red days and blow up days where I give back an entire week's worth of work. I've even done it on a Friday, which is the worst. It's like a Friday and you tear down. That's horrible. There's nothing wrong with that. Sizing down from 1 to 10, 20, and 30. Yep. I've done the same thing. I've sized down from a default of 10, 20, and 30, and even above that to a default of like 1, 3, and 5, or 1, 5, and 10, or something like that. You know, and there's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. That actually shows that you have what it takes because you're willing to size down and to not muscle through it and just slam into it and be like, I'm gonna get this back no matter what. Um, that shows that you're going to be a successful trader as opposed to one of the people that blow out. Um, it really is. So keep doing what you're doing. Stay consistent. When you feel confident, if you want to, change your size. If not, then just stay doing what you're doing because it's consistency over time and having that strategic approach, that annual approach, that long term, not that short term, that's going to make you a successful trader and not be one of the people that blows out. It's the people that think that they have to make it all in this week or this month that blow out. And that, like, I see this number that I want to get through, or I see this and I see this, and they're looking at the wrong thing and they're making it about the money and not about the trade. And when you do that, you know, I think that's one of the ways that you blow up, and that's one of those things that get in the way of your ability to make a good decision in the middle of the day. So keep doing what you're doing. And whenever you feel comfortable, size back up. Yeah, Amazon can really wreck you. I'm sorry about your day, Brent. That's rough. Yeah, you'll be fine. We all will. It is a great card. I will. Oh, it depends on what's tomorrow night. Probably. I'll probably watch it. Yeah. UFC 268. I want to anyway. Kind of depends on the kids. Um, we're gaining an hour of sleep, but I'm probably losing an hour of sleep because the kids are going to wake up an hour early because they're on a schedule. And I'm going to have to hold them to keep them asleep, which means I'm probably not going to be able to sleep, so I might go to bed early. I do want to watch it though, Con, for sure. So as far as the video goes, we've been going for an hour. So for the sake of you guys on YouTube, I'm going to cut the video. I'm going to post it. I'm going to hang out here. If y'all want to talk some more, I'm definitely down with talking. If you are on YouTube and you want to join us, I'll post a link in the description of the video. Feel free to join, to trade with us, to learn what we do. And I appreciate you taking your time to watch this. There'll be more videos coming with a mix of talking the strategy and the psychology of becoming a successful trader, and then also the actual strategies themselves. And I'll have some live recordings or recordings of my day, what I was looking at in the charts and stuff like that, and I'll be posting it. Today's message, just to reiterate the same thing: find what works for you, because that's going to help you stay in that OODA loop, to stay in that mental mindset, to detach, to be able to view the market. If you're looking for what somebody else is doing and you're trying to find somebody else's stuff, don't be somebody else, be yourself, and learn how you can gain that control. So I'll stay here. We can chat a little bit more if y'all want. I'm just going to cut out the recording for YouTube. And if you are on YouTube, I'll hope to see you guys soon. For everyone here, well, let's keep it up.